Go if you want to start your countdown, Jared.
All right. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to The Secret Stage, a Scarlet Rhapsody podcast featuring Jared, Miguel, and Ramses. Everyone, welcome to The Secret Stage. I know we're a little late this week. Blame Katsukan and blame the insane amount of snow here in Boston. It has made life crazy for everyone on the East Coast. Global warming my ass. Seriously. Anyhow, I'm here with Miguel and Ramses. How you guys doing today?
Good, great. Hope you enjoyed yourself at Katsukan this weekend.
I did. And we'll have a 0-hour podcast on Scarlet Rhapsody for those interested in my Katsukan adventures. What about you, Rams? You good?
Monster Hunter.
Ah. Life consumed. Well, I guess on that note, we'll begin with what you've been playing, Miguel, since you're already gaming on the stream. Just tell people now, and then we'll get to me, and so Ramses can finish his mission.
Of course. Well, if all of you guys haven't been paying attention to our Saturday streams, we've been continuing our Zelda marathon, as it were. We just started up with, I just started Ocarina of Time, and I'm doing a 3 heart no Z battle Z target challenge.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's what I kept on telling him. I tell him at any point, if it looks too difficult, you can back down.
The 3-heart challenge, I think, is fine because that's pretty hardcore. But losing your Z targeting, like that's a whole. I mean, that was the whole thing that made 3D Zelda work.
Yeah.
Let's just say the Jabu Jabu thing was like it took him about good 2 hours.
Well, look, the whole Jabu Jabu fight when I finally got it pat took 6 minutes to complete. But it's a hard.
The dungeon and everything else was just the lead up and everything was just like wow. It's like Z targeting. It's like there's a reason why they give you Z targeting.
Yeah, especially there. You guys can so we don't take too much time talking about the Saturday stream. You guys can go on our YouTube channel, check out the stream for Ocarina of Time, or if you just want to cut out to one of the hardest battles with no Z targeting, go to it. Those videos are available there. The other games that I've been playing were Castle in the Darkness again, and I'm going to be playing this little gem called 8bitBoy. It's right now on sale on Steam for $1, so if you guys want to go pick it up, I suggest you do so. It's $1. And it's free. Oh, and I also have been playing Majora's Mask for the 3DS.
Oh, awesome! How was it?
I'll save my comments about it when we get to our game review section with Ramses as well with his Monster Hunter, and I'll let you know since I've got some gripes with it, but also have some things I love about it as well.
All right. Guess we can move on to me while Ramses wraps up his mission. Crazy week for me because of traveling. It always throws my whole gaming week off. But I've been playing a handful of different things. Unfortunately, I couldn't do my... I ended up playing some Castle Crashers because I just wanted something fun to play. And Castle Crashers is a nice way to just kind of shut your brain off and hack and slash the hell out of stuff. Picked up some games on the flash sale that Sony had, and I've been playing the hell out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, All-Star Battle. Oh my god, this has just made me fall in love with JoJo all over again, and I mean that in a very homoerotic way. See, not only Ramses can make those jokes, I can too.
Nice.
It actually got me continuing reading the comics, so I'm gonna try to push forward and get further into the comics because I'm like, man, I forgot how awesome and over the top and yeah, I've been watching the Stardust Crusaders anime, but Stardust Crusaders isn't that huge of a deal to me. But it's just playing with the characters from the first 2 stories and some of the characters from the 4th story just make me go like, oh man, I love how crazy and weird all these characters are. And even if you don't know anything about the comics, you can still enjoy this fighting game for it just being a really good fighting game. It has a few things in there that I'm like, well, this is a little bit easy mode in some regards in terms of the controls, but I have no problem with that. I don't care if something's easy to play, a little too simple, because it still makes it fun just to watch the over-the-top attacks and all the crazy, little character moments, and the fact that every character has like a bunch of different taunts, fun stuff like that.
it also helps a lot if you play with someone that knows the franchise and you're like, oh my god, this is happening.
Yes.
So I think I had a lot more fun playing when I was at your house when me and Deb were playing it. And like since both of us are like big JoJo fans, we were just like flipping out at some of the things you can do.
Yeah, the boss lady just started reading Series 8, and she's already bugging me to grab a handful of different characters from the DLC, and I'm like...
Oh, she likes Twin Peaks.
Well, she's reading 8 because apparently a character has the Lady Gaga stand, and I'm like, of course that's why.
Oh, yes.
Read Series 8. I just want to know what the hell happened to Josuke, because like every time I see that design, I'm like, what the hell happened to you, son? You're just like,
it's still not explained yet.
And then you became this like gay sailor who has bubble powers, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm confused. And no offense to sailors out there.
Again, keep reading. It's like it's a lot more. It's weirder. Anyways, this is like bizarre files.
I'm reading them in order, so it's gonna be a while to take.
Yeah, Brown says exactly true, Jared. We're going into Bizarro Files talk here.
I know, because then
even though
break it up. Even I'm telling you.
I'll continue on my games, okay? I promise. We'll save JoJo talk for post-episode.
Yes.
I was playing a little more Zelda, because you guys have been playing Zelda, so I was rocking through some Oracle of Seasons. And I was playing some Pokemon Omega Ruby, because all I had was my DS when I was traveling. So, I had those kind of things going there. I want to say there's something else. Oh, right! The main life suck that kind of started on last Monday, because I just was craving it so much. I've been playing Mega Man X3, mainly because I never played it before. So now I'm playing it. And I got up to Dr. Doppler's castle, or base, or whatever, and then I had to stop because convention reasons. So I still need to go and finish that game. But oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. Transitioning from Genesis games to Mega Man X3 is really kind of whiplash-inducing, but it's just so nice to play a nice 16-bit game every once in a while. And I was supposed to play Castle in the Darkness, but between Mega Man X and travel plans, that all went to hell. So, sorry. I'll play it this week, I promise, and I'll make my rants about it this week. Now on to you, Ramses.
Monster Hunter.
All right, and now we're moving on.
The other thing is like, literally, I picked it up, and like, at first I was like, I was disappointed I couldn't find the new 3DS XL. But then I sat down and I started playing it for about like 8 hours, and then I got back, and then the next day I started playing it for another 8 hours. Then the next day I started playing it for another 8 hours after I came back from work, and this morning, and then yesterday I started playing it for another 8 hours. And guess what I did when I woke up just before we recorded?
Let me guess. You decided to go get some lunch.
I wish, but no, more Monster Hunter.
Oh.
It has now officially this is now the new life sync, and I think this is what I like about it is that it's doing all the things, it's doing everything that I wanted it to do. Like, this is how you improve on a game. And as I was telling Jared before, Monster Hunter, like, the reason why I tell people, like, why I told Jared before, like, if you're gonna pick up Monster Hunter, I'll pick up 3 and 4. At this point, I'm more inclined to say, if you're a beginner and you've never played a Monster Hunter game before, just go to 4. Just go to 4. Just go to 4. I can't even fathom how I played 3 at this point.
Alright.
But other than that, when we got to talk a little bit later about like the review and stuff like that, there's a lot of great things they added to that game. So much. So much.
And then anything else?
Well, I played the bouncer for like 30 minutes. I wanted to cry a lot. I've never played the bouncer until now, until I started playing it, and wow, that game's abysmal.
I vaguely recall that from the PS1 era. That's
PS2.
Wow.
Like very early PS2. Like you can tell, like that this game was like a tech demo that they should have not made into a full game.
Well, that being said, want to move on to the news? Miguel can be full swing on 8bitBoy, which he is currently playing. All right, so here it is, the news. Since we don't have any kind of news intro, it's just me saying it. We'll begin with some of the... whatever. We'll just begin with my news in the order that it's written down in, rather than the order that I think it's most interesting. So one of the things I found I thought was a non-news story, but some people are kind of forcing it to be a news story. The creators of Mortal Kombat 10, or Mortal Kombat X as they prefer to be called, are making their female bodies more realistically proportioned. Which I have no problem with. I think that's perfectly fine. Apparently some people do not. And no one's going to jump in, so that's good. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say the problem. Miguel first, please.
Let me give my 2 cents on this. It's not that it isn't newsworthy. It's I just want to say a serious question. Does it really matter if the creators decide to make their game a way they want to have it made? If they want to make more realistic quote unquote bodies?
It's nice that they did it.
I mean, it's a nice little thing if they want to do it like that. Let them do it.
It's nice, you know.
It's not gonna be, you know.
It's like some people apparently have a problem with it. It's like seeing some people posting saying it's a feminist thing. It's like I didn't realize, you know, regular actual proportions is a feminist thing. Dumb.
Everything's a feminist thing nowadays in video games. You gotta realize that. Like
It's all
we're at that point.
It's all because of the events that happen that we will never discuss because that doesn't pertain to us.
We're better than this.
Now feminists are becoming the scapegoats of the gaming industry.
Yeah, when things happen because they want to do something involved with a female character.
Blame the feminists.
But that's all I'll
Now
talk
here's-
about that.
Anyways, my thing about it is that there was a reason why they had those bodies, why everything looked kind of weird, and this is also the same reason why Arkham Asylum looked like Arkham Asylum. And that was the fact they were on Unreal. That was the big issue.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but you're right.
Yeah, because since they're on Unreal, they have to and this was one of the things that they said. Like, I remember reading once upon a time.
Can't swim.
Okay.
I remember reading once upon a time, when the game had come, when Arkham Asylum had come out, everyone was like, "Why does everybody look so weird and shiny? And why does everybody look extremely buff? Why does Harley Quinn got huge boobs?" And the answer that Rocksteady gave was actually kind of interesting. They were like, "Hey, we're working on the Unreal Engine, and this is what Unreal Engine can only do."
Yeah, it makes strangely proportioned things. But people, rather.
Yeah,
People look
Yeah.
unreal.
Figured Xrd was done on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, but think about it this one. That was 7 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat was, I think,
Let's-
5 years, at least no more than say
9 rather.
about a year, about a year after did Mortal Kombat come out? When did Mortal Kombat come out? Did it come out in
It's around the same time
2008?
as Arkham Asylum.
Okay, so 2008.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 2008. Arkham Asylum came out in 2007. So it came out a year later. So they were still working on those wonky proportions.
Well, the other thing is that I think they're on Unreal 4 now, and so I think
Yeah, so it's like you can get away with realistic proportions. That's why it's kind of a non-use to me because it's like, ugh, you're just okay, fine. You're just admitting you're on a better engine. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Just say that.
The concept art or the drawing or whatever of just showing the comparison of Katana, and I'm like, I'm fine. She still has a sexy body. It's not like they decided to make her flat-chested and I don't know, give her a dong or something. They just decided that yeah, there you go. She no longer looks as cartoonish. And I don't think that's the thing about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat always has kind of a cartoony look to it, but they're trying to go for kind of a more realistic look in terms of the backgrounds and stuff, at least according to the trailers. So why not go for a more realistic look on the character design?
And realistic guts on people when you throw their guts away.
But yeah, I mean, the blood levels are still going to be cartoony because that's what Mortal Kombat, is about. You want to punch someone's head off and watch a blood geyser. That's just how that works.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't see that there's any problem with this, and I think it's still going to look good, and the women are still going to look sexy. So shut up, weird fanboys.
Yeah, so it's like it was just what they should have said was we're doing because don't make it a feminist thing. Think about it more as we've advanced in technology that far.
Yeah, I think that they put in that like the technology's made it that we can make the characters look even more realistic than before. I think I think it's how you state something nowadays is going to cause people to be reactionary to it. And I think I think this is an Unreal 4 versus Unreal 3 thing. And if they just had made reference to, well, man, if Unreal 4, look how more realistic these characters look, then no one would have made any deal of it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they look awesome. That looks like a real person. Which I'm not keen on the whole Uncanny Valley thing, but they still look a little cartoonish, so it's okay. Anyhow, moving on to something that we might not be able to talk as much about. The new patch for Dying Light allows for user-made mods to be brought into the game. It also allows for multiplayer.
Is this for PC? Is this for PC or for
the PC version? It allows for multiplayer to also have mod usage as long as all the players have the same mods. So if you have your group of friends or whatever, and you all make sure you have the same mods, you can still play together and everything's cool. I think it's kind of an interesting direction to take it. Rather than giving people, their whole point was they were afraid of giving unfair advantages or cheating and stuff like that. And I think this is kind of a good route to a good medium on that whole idea of what to do about user mods. Speaking of PC games, although they do make console ones as well, but I would argue their PC versions are better. Bethesda will be having an E3 press conference this year for the first time ever. Bethesda owns the Elder Scrolls, the new Fallout games, id Software, and a couple of other smaller companies. So, it'd be interesting. I guess that means they have some large announcements. Probably Elder Scrolls.
Doom. Remember they're gonna finally show us Doom other than showing us a goddamn cyber demon?
Oh yeah.
Which...
They've been teasing that for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, because like the only thing we've seen about Doom is just that we've only seen the cyber demon, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Just show me Doom. Just show me the money. Just show me the money shot. That's all I want.
I want my PS4 Elder Scrolls 6, and I want it to work properly as opposed to the initial release for Elder Scrolls 5 on PS3, which was bugged to hell and back. And even after being patched, still has weird bug issues every once in a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've noticed. Even on PC, it's still kind of like at times it feels like kind of like what?
The only one I've had almost no problems with is the Xbox 360 version.
No, even the Xbox 360 version had
it does, but comparatively, it seemed to have less.
Okay, good point. Yeah, comparatively. Anyways,
come on, Bethesda, get your crap together.
Yeah, it's a whole like I blame the fact that they're doing such an ambitious game. That's why. Anyways, I think as a side note, they did announce Nintendo has also rented out the Nokia Theater for E3 for a time E3. So E3 press conference, maybe not. I don't know.
No, I highly doubt it with the way Nintendo has done with their the
Nintendo
way
Direct.
Been going things with just going with the Nintendo Direct to go directly to their people, to their fans. It's more than likely what they're gonna do is, and this is just me being speculative, they're probably gonna have the entire Nokia Theater floor be a giant public Let's Play area.
That'd be a really smart idea on their part, but the parking around there kind of sucks. So.
Take the bus.
Yeah, really. Drop me off! Pick me up in 2 hours, I'm gonna go play some Nintendo games. But I think... Yeah, really, I mean... Nintendo's smart enough to do something. The Nokia Theater is not really, in my opinion, well... You could put on a pretty decent-sized press conference there, actually. I've been inside it.
Well, that's where they held the tournament.
Yeah. It's a pretty big place. It looks smaller from the outside, but it's actually, much like the TARDIS, it's larger on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, keep going.
Premium game designer Zynga had lost nearly $225 million in 2014. They are expected to close some of their offices. They also expect more losses in the upcoming months, but are confident that things will bounce back due to some future projects.
Good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck.
I don't think so.
Yeah, at this point, the illustrator name is King. You're not gonna get any of that. You're not gonna get any of that Skrilla back.
Yeah, King kind of dethroned Zynga.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Ah, there's a witty pun.
So yeah,
Oh, cool. Saved me with the power-ups. Nice.
Ooh. I see. I want to watch the stream now instead of talk about the news, but I must focus on one job at a time. For those who had an Xbox One and who were lucky enough to watch Halo Nightfall, the original series they released on Xbox One, good for you. But for the rest of us, there will be a DVD release on March 17th of the entire story cut into a movie format, so you don't have to see the little credits between each episode, I guess. I don't know anything about this because I didn't know anyone who watched it, but I really did like Forward Unto Dawn, and actually the first time I ever saw that was when they released that on DVD or Netflix or something. I just know I think it was DVD. But whatever they did for Forward Unto Dawn, I ended up watching it then, not when it was on a web series. But if they kept the same kind of quality and work on this, I'd actually be really interested to see it, except for the fact that it occurs between 4 and 5. And I don't know what the plot of Halo 4 is, because I didn't play anything past 3. So.
I have no opinion, to be honest.
Okay. Well, when I have the chance to watch it, I'll probably do a little quick DVD review.
Next.
Speaking of movies, the Assassin's Creed movie has officially started its production, which I guess means it has a script, so that's kind of nice. And we'll have Oscar winner Marion Cotillard joining the cast. She is a French lady who won an award for Libby and Rose, and she was also in Batman 3 The Rising, which is now my new joke title for The Dark Knight Rises, and she was also in Inception. So, no word on who she's playing, but she's in there.
More than likely, Jared and I just want to go into the thing. Every time when they announce a female lead character, it's always going to be the love interest of the main character.
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
Or, twist, she is, and knowing Hollywood movies, I'm going to pause you real quick. Knowing Hollywood movies, she's going to be a Templar agent that the guy has to kill, but falls in love with her, and has to figure out, and she's some kind of tool needed to save the world.
That does sound like a Hollywood script. Yeah, she's one of his targets who then they fall in love and then they work together to save the world and whatever. But hey, Michael Fassbender, I'm in.
She dies.
Or if they really wanted to go really trippy, Michael Fassbender plays Desmond. Desmond goes into the Animus, but relives the life of a female in his bloodline. And he gets to become Michael Gender Fassbender. And that joke was a stretch, but I tried really hard.
Unfortunately, that is a very progressive thing you just said. So it's like, more power to you, Jeff.
But I totally would love that as a storyline twist for something. Male comes in and plays a female counterpart. It'd be amazing. But yes, I think Miguel's plotline is probably the correct one. Going on to stuff that could be kind of cool, Gavin Price and Chris Sutherland, two of Rare's old school people from the N64 days, are working on a game that they claim as the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. I never played Banjo-Kazooie, but everyone who had an N64 apparently did and loved it.
Yeah, it was an awesome game.
I only played PS1 demos.
Banjo-Kazooie wasn't on PlayStation. No.
No, I think you crashed that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you think you guys Banjo-Kazooie, but yeah.
Yeah,
But for those who don't know, N64 Rare basically ruled the world. They gave us Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo 1 and 2. What was their other big one? They had Perfect Dark. Yep.
And then Rare went to Microsoft and it went to hell
It
from
was
there.
belly up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that they went belly up, but it was more along the lines of like, well,
The quality dropped.
whatever they, well, like they've now been relegated to make Microsoft avatars.
Excuse me, they did Connect Sports. Yeah.
Moving on.
I take that silence as approval, not disappointment.
Yep.
Anyhow, if you want to know more about their company, they are called Playtonic. So check them out. Hopefully we'll make some cool games that will make us go, hey, I remember when Rare was good. Although, then I'll have to stop selling my t-shirts of, hey, do you remember when Rare was good? neither do I. I mean, I have to start getting rid of those shirts now.
Yeah.
And finally, the last part of my main news is Square Enix released the trailer for the new Dissidia arcade game. It is pretty, and gives me high hopes that we could get a nice HD console version of Dissidia, which would make me a happy boy. Because as much as the Final Fantasy main series has kind of sucked, Dissidia is a lot of fun. But I don't want to pick up a PSP for one game.
And knowing Squaresoft's track record, they will probably end up selling said game for cheap, about maybe 30-40 bucks. And then from there, sell all the characters as DLC content for $30 a piece.
True.
$30 for Final Fantasy 1 pack, $20 for the Final Fantasy 2 pack, $20 for the Final Fantasy 3 pack. Final Fantasy 4 pack, you have to pay $35 for that.
Yeah, because Americans know those characters.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 5 is going to be a $25 pack. Final Fantasy 6 is going to be a $35 pack.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 will be a $40 pack.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you gotta pay a premium for that, 'cause everyone wants that one.
I want my 6-pack. I want to see Edgar in the game. I want to see Sabin in the game, or Mash in his original.
Well, to be fair, the very first photos we did see actually has Terra in it.
Yeah, the trailer does have Terra, who has been in Dissidia since Dissidia 1, so
it's like, that's good.
She's a guaranteed. I assume everyone from Dissidia 1 is guaranteed. I'm hoping most of the Dissidia 2, or Duodecim, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be called, they will be there. And like I said, I want to believe there's going to be new, fresh characters, but like Miguel said, when the console comes, there will be new, fresh characters. You're just going to have to pay up the ass for them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, you want Kane? Too freaking bad. Oh, you want Auron? You want Auron? I hope you like $10 for Auron, because you're going to be dropping $10 on Auron.
Yeah, I am stuck.
You went the wrong way.
I did.
No, it's just, whatever. It's Square being Square, but right now we can feel excited about this really pretty arcade game. Which always seems weird when Japan makes arcade games, because America doesn't care about arcades anymore. So we rarely hear about American company. You don't hear Activision like working on the arcade version of a game first.
Nope.
No, that's a weird thing. Like, my first that was my very first kind of like indication. That was my very first like, that's that they're making this an arcade game. And I forget that in Japan it's still a viable thing.
Yeah,
like,
because the new Tekken is also going to be arcades.
Yeah, so it's like I just want to know like what's like. I just want to know who's gonna be in it, so I can be excited for when I eventually have to when I eventually have to pay $60 for this game and then pay another $60 for all the DLC. That I'll at least be satisfied. And I'm gonna admit this right now. I actually did really enjoy the city. I actually really did enjoy it for what it was. Yeah, it's a good, surprisingly good fighting game. Like, it's a unique fighting game, and I want to see how they're gonna work this out for an arcade style game.
Yeah,
because like my only complaint about the game was like that game seriously needed a that game seriously needed a second stick.
Well, that was a hardware limitation more so than a program limitation.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I too like Arsenio Hall.
No, but
you children of the 70s. So you'd be old enough in the 80s to know who Arsenio Hall is.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, is that all the news? Anything else?
That's all my news. I know you had something big you wanted to talk about before we get to the review section.
All right, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about what Nintendo said at their investors meeting.
Which was?
Yeah, this has been causing some people to get their knickers in a twist.
Yeah, there's some good things out of this. There's some really good things that are coming out of this. Okay, so first things first, let's talk numbers here. Let's talk some numbers. Apparently, the Wii U has seen sales increase to 200% since the last stop meeting.
Sweet.
And
I
So
think it's mostly for the cause of having Smash Brothers release, and then the announcement of a Star Fox for the Wii U, and of course Zelda.
Yep.
well, I also say I also like to put in Mario Kart as one of the key things as well.
Yeah, that was their highest selling game until Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Reports attribute they said here that this is attributed to Mario Kart 8 and E3 2014 press conference, which actually sounds pretty good to me. To that actually sounds that kind of jives with the numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they also said that the they haven't released numbers yet, but they said the new 3DS XL has been selling really well in Japan and Europe, and they're tracking the same kind of success here in the United States. Now here's where things get interesting. Does anyone want to know about the Amiibo sales?
Yes.
They've been crazy.
Okay. Since their inception back in November, there have been 5.7 million sold as we speak
5.7 million
around the world. That is a huge number, to be honest with you. That is not a number you can cough at.
Well, it helps that people are buying more than one character. Like, how many characters do you have at this point, Ramses?
3.
I
And then Miguel,
have 2 still. I'm trying to hunt down Toon Link and Sheik to complete the Zelda set. And I'm gonna be getting Mega Man whenever it shows up.
and
You
I
guys
don't
have
I don't have a Wii U or a new 3DS, but I want to grab a couple. It's just
there's some news here that you're gonna want.
find the ones I want.
And then not only
There's some
that,
news here.
and then not only that, with Nintendo announcing from their latest Nintendo Direct that they're gonna be releasing different sets, like the Super Mario Brothers set,
Mm-hmm.
as well. So that says something that when new games come out and that they can have enough figures to make a amiibo set, they probably will. Like, I'm pretty sure that when Star Fox releases, they're gonna make a Star Fox amiibo set.
Oh, they will. I can finally have. I can finally Slippy on my desk.
And then of course when Zelda releases, they're gonna have Legend of Zelda set. And I'm pretty sure with the new Fire Emblem that comes up, they're gonna make a Fire Emblem set.
They're gonna make a crap ton of those.
Well, this franchise isn't as popular as everyone likes to think it is.
But if you attach it, if you say, hey, you can use your amiibos in this game, I'm pretty sure it's gonna sell.
Yes, because if that allows you to just suddenly insert one of the classic characters into your game, that would be amazing. We're just like,
Okay.
oh, by the way, here's Roy and Ela Wood and Hector and Lindis, 6 and 7. I'd be like, yes, well, actually, Lindis and Roy. I don't care about the other two, but I'd add Lindis and Roy into my game immediately.
All right. So going on,
which Project Steam is gonna do, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's why it's like I want those Fire Emblem amiibos so bad for that. Anyways, getting back to numbers. 63% of all amiibo sales around the world have been sold in the United States alone, which makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah.
In the United States alone, the most popular character is Link. But it seems that everywhere around the world as well, it seems to be Link. And the only exception is going to be Australia, where it's harder to find a Mario one than it is to find a Link one.
Really?
Huh. Yeah. The Legend of Zelda is super popular. I mean, our live streams and our YouTube posts have kind of proven that. You throw on some Zelda, and everyone's like, Zelda, I'm in!
Alright. So they did say also what's been going on with like why you can't find certain amiibos, and that's because of retailer space. That kind of makes sense because that's the same excuse that like every toy company has been saying, like why can't I find this figure? Oh, because the companies don't put the retailers don't put up enough space. But I'm pretty sure, knowing how this amiibo sales are going right now, I'm pretty sure they're gonna start freeing up a lot more space and then cutting out a lot more space with Skylanders at this point, because I think the amiibos are here to stay at this point. Because like I think what separates amiibos from Skylanders is that you can use them in more than one game, and it's like there's more iconic characters. I think people know a lot more. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna.
Well, not only that, I think Skylanders are getting the boot to Disney's Infinity and now the Amiibos.
Yeah.
So
I think, but
because it's Disney and now Nintendo, two very huge, companies.
With very iconic
Yeah.
characters that everyone loves.
It's like,
and the thing is, with
think about
with
Disney collectors.
yeah, and the thing is also with yeah, and the thing is the thing is also with Disney Infinity as well. It's not just Disney collectors. It's Marvel collectors as well.
And now we're getting Star Wars too.
What?
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna have
Star
Star Wars.
Wars
in this-
Infinity characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure with Infinity 3.0 when they're gonna release it, because it will be eventually.
Oh yeah, if they're doing Infinity 3.0, if Star Wars isn't in it, then yeah, then it's the greatest shame ever. But it's like, yeah, sign me up for Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Return of the Jedi outfit. Anyways,
Everyone loves that outfit.
I know, I love that outfit so much. Anyways, going back to the last bit of numbers here before I go on to some other news that they've announced, is that the hardest to find amiibos around the world seems to be in the United States. It's Marth, Captain Falcon Japan, and in Europe and in Australia it's Little Mac.
I wonder if it's more than America. They just figured Fire Emblem wasn't all that huge here, so they just didn't make as many. Or did they just keep having weird defective ones that they keep throwing away?
Those fucking eyes, man. Bruce.
I know, but I kind of want a Marth just because I'm a Fire Emblem fanboy.
Yeah. Okay, so next, here's some things. Here's the more tangible things that we can use. So, also announced at this investors meeting is that they announced that using your amiibos will unlock a special demo version of a lot of virtual console games,
Really?
Oh,
and it'll be implemented on the Wii U starting this summer.
that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
That's a great marketing gimmick. Oh my god, if I was like, oh, I've never played, like for example, I was making my comments about Kid Icarus. I've had the Kid Icarus figure, and I just could tap it on my Wii or whatever, and suddenly I can play like the first level of Kid Icarus 3D Classic, or whatever they call it, the rebooted version on the Wii. And I liked it, yeah, I'd probably dropped a couple bucks to pick up the game.
All right. And here's something for you, Jared. They're thinking about putting an NFC. They're gonna release an NFC adapter for a regular 3DS coming this summer. The NFC connector is what you use so you can use like the amiibo support.
Huh.
So your 3DS. So now everybody's gonna have amiibo support one way or another on their 3DS by summer.
That's
Yeah, but the big question is how much?
They haven't revealed the price yet, but it's gonna be a separate little thing. It actually looks like a Skylander portal. To be honest with you, I'm looking at a picture of it. There's actually like a photo. It looks like a Skylander's portal. I swear to God. But those are kind of the big things that came out of that thing. Most of it is just numbers that we will not like understand because like we're not investors. They did say about like, oh, the reason why we're not gonna release the 3DS the new 3DS in the United States was because it will confuse consumers. This caused everybody to like to lose their minds on the internet. To which I say, look, simply put, unless you own like a huge stock in the company, I don't mean just not buying like you're a consumer if you just buy the stuff. No, you're not. You don't own stock. No, and when I mean you own stock, I mean you own like billions of dollars of stock into the company.
well, you actually get to be one of the major shareholders, and good luck with that.
Yes. Like I'm saying, like people are like, oh, well, if I can just buy one like stock. No, you have just as much saying as like the janitor at that point.
Yeah, the
So-
people who got stock working for the company and low ranked.
Yeah.
They're
So it's like
5%, or they're 95. They're 0.05%.
So people are like, if you're not privy to a lot of those meetings, they're really like a lot of the decisions that they make are dictated by those investors meetings.
Well, they always are.
So what's up?
They always are.
So at the end of the day, it's not really. It's really it's really what they want, not what we want. So, if you're gonna make a big deal about it on the internet, I'm sorry, but that's not the way. Like, unfortunately, you're gonna have to live with it. I'm sorry.
You know, it's one of those things where I find it funny that people are freaking out about that aspect, but personally, I like the XL design more, and I wouldn't buy a smaller model at this point.
I completely agree with you, Jared, as well. On my point, I would rather have an XL than the standard.
And I think there's a lot that might be in that category.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a thing about it is that you get customized faceplates with the smaller one. But at the same time, you know, you can buy yourself a clear case for your new 3DS XL and make custom covers as well.
Yeah. So, but another thing is another thing that was another thing is too. It's like, for example, the 3DS XL, the new 3DS one. There's some people that I know for a fact have brought like when they bought the smaller 3DS. It's because like their hands were too small. Like this is like I understand like some gamers are like kind of weird. Like they're like I'm not gonna point fingers at anybody that's right here or anybody that's listening. But you know, I've noticed some people that are like, you know, they have tiny little like, you know, baby hands, and I'm like, how do you live life?
Or their kids, how Becky was saying?
Well, not just that. I've seen like what?
Or their kids, because that's what they're kind of for. Now with me,
He said children.
I'm not saying anything about Becky. Becky's an amazing person.
yeah, no.
No.
But Becky's saying that, you know, the small model's more for kids than it is for adults. Yeah, you tell them, kids.
Hey, yes, but like I said, like I know a lot of games that are like, I know a lot of people who game who are like got abnormally small hands. I don't know why. It's like, yeah, you ever see that Whopper Junior commercial with the guy with the tiny hands? I've met people like that. Anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, just that.
Hey, it's such a weird thing to talk.
Stuck in my head. I found that amusing.
But the thing is, I want to say is that but there are reasons for other people to have XL. I would prefer an XL because with me,
but no, it's like, yeah, and the kids.
I just want to say too, the things with an XL too is with me. I own the original size model. I played it for God knows how long with it. It came to a point where my thumbs just started to cramp up because the console was so small on my hands that it's just hard to grip things, play comfortably, you know. And when the XL was announced and released, I picked it up immediately, and now.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. I remember after like I'm like. I will admit, because I did play a lot of Mario Kart, to the point where I literally had to put my hand on my wrist on ice. Because I was like, holy shit, this is too much for me. So, on that regards, yeah, I see that point, but like I said, I'm not defending anybody, but I'm just saying like that's some of the people's logic as to like why they're complaining. But you know, with that in mind, you know, there's a lot going on. You know, Nintendo is, like I said, the publicly traded company above all else. You know, they have to like listen to the investors, and like I said, they had like for example, like you just said, like you would rather take the XL. A lot more people would have taken the XL, and I'm very sure the investors would have been more pleased. I think, like looking at it, they would have been like, okay, let's sacrifice giving customization in order to get more units out. And that's what I was saying. Is like one of my friends who when I put this up, they made a really good point where it's like, he said, okay, the reason why Nintendo's not the real reason why is that Nintendo needs to they had to take a risk, and releasing a system this quick, and instead of releasing two SKUs with two, and having to wait a little bit longer for one of them. So release one and have one already out on the market already to please investors.
Yeah, look, Nintendo's out to make money, and I think the sales of the XL have been higher than the regular 3DS, and I think there's a lot of people who would feel that it would be a step back to get a smaller model. I know the smaller models are probably enjoyed by certain people. I know plenty of people who have the smaller model and have no desire to go up to the XL. I can't go back. I've played other people's smaller models, and I feel awkward when I do it, because it just doesn't feel right to me now that I've been on a larger system.
Yeah, and I can't play for reasons why I've already said, but at the same time, because I've looked at, because Becky owns a smaller one, and I looked at it, and it's like, wow, I can't believe if I've played 3DS games on the console this so small.
Yeah, I always feel that way too. Every time I stumble across my old regular DS or anyone else's regular 3DS, I'm always like, whoa, this is tiny. I still have giant hands, but I don't actually. It's just proportional.
Yeah, but like I said, like if Nintendo's out to make a profit, they're in the nickel and diming section. They're in the nickel and diming business. Like no, they're not your friends or anything like that. They're just here to just make it.
Nintendo gives away a lot of stuff to their fans. You know, the Mario Kart downloadable content. That's a huge bang for the buck. You know, the Mewtwo thing seems to be a little fumbled a little bit, but
not only that, I want to say the season pass for Hyrule Warriors as well. That's a
Oh yeah, speaking of which, did you, I guess I can talk about this because this was not on the news as well. They did announce a new Ganon DLC, so you can play as a.
I'll probably get it because I have the pack, so
yeah,
season pass, so.
Yeah, it has him. It has him as a beast. So there you go. For those of you who want, horrific pig, those who want horrific pig Ganon, you get one.
Sweet, just like in the cartoon.
Oh, God. But yeah, like I said, like we'll see what happens. Let's see. Like it's all like I said. This is all investors. Like we're like there. Yeah, we're like there's some information that we should know. But I think at the end of the day, this is more like a lot more information that came out of it was more like okay numbers as in like how much we made, how much we lost, how much this and that. But at the end of the day, you know, Nintendo, like I said, it's a publicly traded company, and like they're like. And all I like is that like it's all sounding like good news at this point. Like it's all good news. Like I do like the fact that the Wii U has increased at 200%. I'm pretty sure paying towards like you know the end of this year, it's gonna increase even more with Zelda and Star Fox and any other new game that they may announce at E3 or before that. So,
oh yeah, E3 is gonna boost sales. They're gonna show something off. If they're wrapping the Nokia Theater, like we said earlier. Nintendo has a plan. Mm-hmm. Nintendo always has a plan. That's actually
what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah. And like I said, so with that in mind, that's I guess like everything that they said. Like there's a couple of like little bits of news, but it's like we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, we always have next episode. But right now, I guess we can go into our review section. If Ramsey, you should probably go first because sounds like Miguel's still hip deep.
This is an addicting game. I might pick this up myself eventually soon.
I don't think it's fair that I have to pay attention to all our other little things that I can't watch the stream, but I'll watch some of the stream when I have the chance.
Yeah. Anyways, Monster Hunter 4. Wow, that is an amazing. This is how you improve on a game like Monster Hunter, where the deal was with Monster Hunter, where it was accessibility. Where the biggest issue was going to be like if it was going to be accessible to new players, that issue became non-existent as I continued playing the game. The game is like the most accessible to newcomers to any like Monster Hunter game you can ever think of, in my opinion. Like they did an amazing job in streamlining all the new mechanics and all the new stuff you can do in the game. That to me. Monster Hunter 3 is like almost a drastic step down at this point. Like I cannot go back to 3 at this point, which is so weird because 3 has its own monster sets and all that stuff. But it's like I'd rather take the convenience of 4 and all the stuff you can do in 4 than 3 at this point.
See, I think that's one of the best compliments you can give a game. Is when you say, no, this sequel is a marked improvement. It's not just a handful of new monsters and a couple new weapons. It's actually
no.
a lot of fixes.
There's so much fixes now, and like I said, what they did is they made the tutorial stuff for the beginning more accessible for people who don't know about Monster Hunter, which is one of the things I like. Cause like one of the more what's the way of describing this? One of the more key factors other than making armors is knowing how to like make combine items and combining stuff to get other items out of to make combine items on the fly. And that's one of the things they never explain to players when you're playing it on the field. Like that's something you should have learned right from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And what Monster Hunter 4 does, it actually explains a lot of the stuff that you should be learning, like stuff like how to make items, how to like hunt for this, how to hunt for that, as opposed to here's how you kill this, which is like I think a more appropriate way to introduce the game to players than say, here's a monster, kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think showing you the way of like, because you're gonna know how to like attack and everything. That's something that like we all know. But knowing like the actual physics of the game, like how to like actually get around and stuff like that, that's something I think that's something that the game neglected in Monster Hunter 3. I had to learn a lot of that from like secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm really happy that for beginners at least they did that where it's like, hey, here's everything you should really know about the game. Here's like all the stuff that's gonna be thrown at you, and here's how you can like here's how you can do a lot of stuff. And they don't hold your hand. Well, they do hold your hand, but they don't like. There's a lot of like trial and error in that game. Like there is so much trial and error when it comes to that kind of stuff that it's not as intimidating to new players. And I really am appreciative that they really did a lot of new things, a lot of great new things to improve on the game. And what I like is that I may be talking a lot about the game itself as for new players, but for older players like myself, there is so much to look for, so much you can do, so many new areas. The online mode is, I think, one of the best online modes I've ever had experience for any kind of game in quite a while. Because like unfortunately, Jared, it did what you wanted it. Well, it's to say, unfortunately for me, it did that thing where it's like you can go into a lobby and you can join in a mission already in progress.
Mm-hmm.
So you were asking about that. Now you can do that.
Yeah. Well, because to harken back to one of our previous interviews with Seth and World Zombination, is I like the idea of I could just jump right into something, play a round or two, stop, and then go on to do something else. If I can just jump in, help some people with a mission, get some swag, save, close my 3DS, and get back to work on dinner, or continue watching whatever I was watching on Hulu or what have you, that works really well for me.
And what I like is that like I said, you can play with random people. Like you don't have to play with like I mean, I would prefer you to play with someone that you know and play it on Skype. That's actually, like, in my opinion, the best way, because that way you can communicate. But you can actually go in blind and just be like, okay, let's do this. And I think, and I thought at first it would be intrusive, because like you're not coordinating like the stuff you need to be coordinated with in the game.
Which is weird because yes has a mic. You'd think they'd just allow for mic support.
But here's the funny thing. Like the people you're paired up with most of the time know what they're doing. And they know what you're gonna do next time, so it's almost like intuitive to like what you're good. So it's like the people who are playing online and have open lobbies are people that have already played the game. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, fine, you can jump on that guy. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's like
we're elite. We just want some backup. We know we need a little backup. If you know what you're doing, hey, that's great. And if you don't, well, at least you're a meat shield.
Yes. And that's, I think, one of the best aspects where it's like, you don't feel like it's natural. Like, once you get the flow of the game, like playing solo missions for a newcomer like yourself, Jared, and especially you, Miguel. Yeah. Once you get the flow of the missions early on, you can go into a blind multiplayer match or a multiplayer like room, and just know what you're gonna do, and they don't mind because like, oh, fine, you're just here for this. You don't need like hardcore. You don't need hardcore coordination or anything like that. Okay. So, I really cannot. I really cannot recommend this game enough. Like, this is true. Like, 2015 is already like shaping to be one of my favorite like years of gaming, and this is already proof that this is gonna be like one of my favorite games of the year. Like when it's all said and done, and it's proof that like I sank in eight plus hours in my first day and 8 more hours those consecutive days afterwards. And I'm pretty sure today, since I don't have work today, I'm gonna play for 8 more hours, and stuff like that. Like, hey, it's like if this game can let me play like this long, if this game can retain my attention for this much amount of time, then kudos.
Yeah, especially since it's a go kill monsters to get stuff, to build things, to kill more monsters to get stuff, to build things type games.
And the worst part is,
yeah,
like all our friends are like, "Oh, I'm already on G rank, this and that." Like 1 weekend, I'm like, I'm like 30 some odd hours in, and I'm only working. I'm barely on my 2G missions. But the reason why I haven't gone into those levels yet is because I wanna get a complete armor set.
Oh, well, that can take a while.
Exactly, because like right now, like I'm on the beginning, and like you fight like and this is not a spoiler because this is one of the first monsters you fight on the demo, the Great Jaggies.
Yeah.
They drop what's called the rarest drop they can drop is called a King's Frail, and if that only comes up out of percentage wise, I think they come out out of 100 games. I think they come out only like 10 times. Like, so you only get a 10% chance of getting it.
Well, I don't think you can spoil anything in Monster Hunter because it doesn't have a plot. Unless this
it does kind of, actually.
Oh?
It just involves you teaming up with a guy, and he's like, hey, let's hunt monsters at this new location.
Okay, that's kind of a plot, I guess. I mean, that's like saying, like the Duck Dynasty guys want to go shoot at ducks at this pond instead of the usual pond, you know? I guess that's kind of a plot there.
Yes, I mean, I'm not expecting the highest quality story. I'm not expecting Metal Gear Solid 5 here.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted to play a Metal Gear game and get the story out of here, if I wanted to play something that makes me cry, I'd go play The Last of Us. I'm here to cut monsters up and make armors out of their rock.
It's like my love of the Musou games. I don't play the Musou games for the story. I know the story. Ancient China kind of sucked. Go kill things. Okay, cool. So, you know, I get the Monster Hunter things. It's basically a Musou game, except for you're hunting monsters instead of, you know, killing wave after wave of generic human-looking things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure, like, Hyrule Warriors or something actually has a better plot than the average Dynasty Warriors game, but for the most part, Musou games are not known for their storyline, they're known for their fun hack-and-slash gameplay. You know, like I already said earlier in the show, I'm playing Castle Crashers. That doesn't have really a plot at all. It's just like, go kill stuff, rescue princess, kill more stuff to rescue next princess.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. It has a plot, but it's not such a great plot to say.
Even the Love Live, the middle game has a plot.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I get the original. I get the updates on that one every once in a while. Just this girl is gonna go and take a walk and talk about how she likes cherry blossoms, and I'm like, yep, that is story.
Well, they have an anime. I don't know how they make an anime out of that, but anyways.
The anime's cute. It's all about making the team and stuff like that. Bizarro Files, whatever.
Yes.
But you know what? It sounds like Monster Hunter 4 is great, and the demo is now available for everyone to download. So anyone who got the early codes, like, you know, you could have just been patient for or two. But yeah, check it out, people. I enjoyed the demo. I'll probably pick it up, though. When I was playing the demo, I still feel that like this needs the new 3DS because I need that second stick. It drives me insane having to like
just buy the Circle Pad Pro.
But Ramses, we both own XLs. Pro
they do have an XL version.
Yeah, but I'm not paying $20 for that convenience.
Oh my god, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was
we're back to what we were discussing about.
I want to take that clip and save that clip for other projects. So I can just randomly have, I'm not paying for that convenience. That is the line of the show.
I paid $20 for that convenience, so screw you!
And folks, this is why our show is the best video game podcast out there.
Yes. my only issue, Ramses, is I don't want to buy the Circle Pad Pro to play one game. And I guess I could get Resident Evil Revelations, so okay, 2 games, I guess. Even though I don't
actually, I would say Metal Gear Solid 3, but I've been hearing people say that it's better to play on the XL, the new 3DS XL. But
well, if I was gonna play Metal Gear Solid 3 though, I'd play it on my PlayStation. Like
yeah, I agree there with that too. Metal Gear Solid for the 3DS was a nice convenience for it, but
yeah, I would have played on PlayStation. I will agree. But like I said, if that's fine. That's all you. That's all you guys. It's like I'm just saying, like you can buy the 3DS, you can buy the Circle Pad Pro. There is an XL one, but I would highly suggest it. But like I said, like if that's what you think, then so be it. I'm not gonna be a guy pointing your gun at your head saying.
I have so many games on my queue right now. The Monster Hunter 4 is a while off, and I'm waiting for them to release their next gimmicky new 3DS. Even though I wish I could take my Silver Mario plate and put it onto a new 3DS. That's not going to be possible. So, plus I wouldn't know how to remove it from my current model, anyways.
Screws, a lot of screws.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's as far as they'll come back to me when I'm come back to me in 3 months, and then I'll make another review and I'll give you another assessment.
Oh, I'm sure you'll give us updates as we go week to week. If you're like, I played another 40 hours of Monster Hunter. Haven't slept in 3 days, but it's okay because I finally got the golden Magna armor.
Yeah, have you
Have
seen the Nightmare Gore manga? Oh my god, that thing's scary. So
Yeah.
the nightmares on the upgrade. Go on.
I hate to stop the talk on Monster Hunter, but we need to continue because I am on a tight schedule for during the week right now.
I'm sorry. Anyways.
Yeah, well, we can get to your talks. Both you guys can go on a little dark. Castle in the Dark. Darkness.
Well, I can save
Did you
Castle
also
in the
talk
Darkness.
about Zelda?
I can save Castle in the Darkness for another time. Right now I can talk about Zelda. But Majora's Mask came out alongside.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Majora's
Majora's Mask came out alongside with Monster Hunter 4, and I would say it's an awesome game because it's Zelda, it's Majora's Mask. You can't go wrong with it. The game is amazing. I love it. I enjoy it. They've changed up a couple things. The map is a little bit as for the size ratio. It's a lot bigger than it was on the 64 version of it. So the game world is a slightly bit bigger than it was in the 64.
I would assume because they have a lot. I would assume it would be bigger because they're working with a bigger proportion, a bigger, bigger size in game, like the screens and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
And it's awesome, the few things that get to me though, and it's a great game. It's a must buy. I'm not gonna say that, oh, don't buy this game, it's horrible, just because of the little gripes I have with it. Well, one of the few things is, and I beat the first temple already, and there's clear differences between that boss fight and the other boss fight in the original 64 boss fight. I would have to say that they made the game very accessible and very easy.
Oh.
Yeah.
They lowered the difficulty. That's a surprise. They don't usually do that. Or Nintendo, rather, usually doesn't do that.
Yeah, the difficulty
They
was...
kind of did with Ocarina of Time 3D.
Which...
Or did they do that with that as well? I played the Ocarina of Time remake. I only played the original.
Anyways, keep willing to go?
I haven't played... I don't recall the 3D remake, if it was dumbed down or if it's the same. It's been a while since I played it. But Majora's Mask, it's been dumbed down a little bit. And some of the stuff about the game have been changed too. Mostly, I would say the temple fight. Like everything was, they changed the locations of certain secrets, of certain characters, certain things. Like the bombers, when you have to chase them, they're different locations now. But they're still in the same obvious areas where you can still find them. You just gotta go a little further to actually look for them. The few other things I want to say too is the boss fight. The first boss fight, Odolwa from the Woodfall Temple.
Yeah.
The original 64 version, you were in an arena surrounded by flames. You felt that that boss battle was intense, you know, because you know, you're surrounded in flames. It's you gotta defeat this guy. Like, you have a sense of urgency to defeat him. And then, it was harder to actually get access his weak point to attack him. In Majora's Mask 3D, all I did, and this is, you know, for gameplay reasons, and it's spoiler for, but then again, it's a game that's been released over, you know, 15, 20 years ago. So there's really no spoilers to it. But the fight in the 3DS version is, all you do is get into the Deku flowers, fly up, and drop a Deku nut. His weak point is exposed, and you just hack at him. That's it. There's no wall of flame surrounding you with the.
I wonder if that was a hardware limitation.
I don't know if that was a hardware limitation or not, because if they were able to have a wall of flames and have a certain difficulty in the 64 version, I don't see how it can be a hardware limitation for the 3DS version. You know?
Yeah.
The hardware limitation from the 64 to 3DS version.
Yeah.
Especially because, you know, smaller games, but, you know, they have a lot more processing power now.
Yeah.
So,
But all in all, I just want to say that the game is a great game. It's awesome. It's amazing. And again, I said, you know, it's good to expand your 3DS Zelda collection.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'll buy it 10 times over if I could, but since I already have it, there's no point in me buying it 10 times over. But yeah, those are things. Like, you know, the game is great in that, and those were my gripes about it. Is they changed the atmosphere, as it were.
Yeah, and considering how dire things are in that game, the atmosphere was a major part of the design.
Yeah, and to me, I don't feel. I mean, yeah, you have that timer there, that clock there, but the thing is, they changed the clock too. Because before it was pretty much a sun and moving along across the bottom of the screen. Now it's just a big old bar with the time telling you right there as well.
I think that works a lot better for someone like me who can't tell time. I can't. I'm not trying to say I can't tell time, but I am saying, like, when it comes to like something, like if I on a quick, like if I'm looking at that clock and I'm like, wait, what time is it? Oh shit! It's all 1 minute. Ah!
So you like the more precise thing, Ramses, and I can get you that. I can understand them wanting to switch to a more precise timer on it. That makes me more like stressed, because then I'll look at that precise timer and go, oh no, we have 3 more in-game hours. Crud. Okay, I gotta get to the bank. Leave me alone, people. Leave me alone.
Well, the whole stuff with that is, and they changed. Also, the location of the bank was moved. This is like little tiny things that they changed in the gameplay wise. How I said to make
moving things
easier
around in the town will totally throw me off.
Yeah.
I will admit that's gonna take a while to get used to.
Yeah, because my first run through it, I was lost trying to find the bombers, because they changed some of their locations to how they were. Instead of them just running around, they were actually hiding under boxes, so you had to actually pick them up to throw it instead of them running around. But the few things on it too that gripe me as well is when I was chasing them, I caught them easily, as opposed to in the 64 version where they were just running around like crazy. You had to find out crazy techniques just to catch them.
Yeah.
And then at the end, and then the whole difference on it as well is that the Bomber's Notebook in the 64 version, you had to go and do the whole thing and chase all 5 of them again in order to get it. And in the 3DS version, it gets handed to you when you return. When you turn back time for the first time, it gets handed to you instead of having to redo the mission again to get it.
Yeah. That's unfortunate that they made things easier, because part of what I think part of the fun of that game is not only seeing what the different masks do, but is really the challenge.
Yep.
But beyond a few of those changes, how are you liking the game experience?
Oh, the game experience is the same as it is for any kind of Zelda game, you know? It makes me, like, when I was playing through it, I was kind of thinking, like, maybe should I do the 2-day challenge, like, the 2-cycle challenge that some of them have, where you can beat the game after the first time warp, you can beat the game in that first 72-hour span, which supposedly is possible.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and try to look over. I'd love to see someone do that. That's what I'm going to go with now. Less so on me trying to figure out a methodology. I just want to watch someone do that. If there's a speedrun Let's Play, unassisted, online, I will totally watch that.
Yeah.
Because that would be amazing to see someone actually pull that off.
Yep.
All right. So overall, it's recommended.
Yeah, it's recommended. It's. I mean, how I said, with me, I had my gripes about it because I felt it was gotten too easy, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, there might be others that might be on my side of it as well, that it was too easy.
Well, there also might be a completion bonus for a more difficult version, or classic difficulty or something along those lines. That reminds me, just in terms of this, because I've never had the chance to ask you, and since we're on talking about the N64 Zeldas, did you ever get a chance to play the Master Quest version of Ocarina of Time?
Yes, I did. I got to play it when it was on the GameCube disc.
Yeah. I only played a little of that. I just figured what your thoughts were on that, if you remember.
It was difficult. I'm not gonna lie on that. But at the same time, I pretty much ended up beating the game fairly easily as well for me. But that was just on me because I just love playing Zelda a lot.
Okay. Well, next week we'll do a big little, all three of us talking about Castle in the Darkness. I promise I'll play it, folks. I was supposed to play it this week. Conventions, sorry. But until then, you can check out our YouTube, Secret Stage Games. You can find us on Facebook under Secret Stage Games. You can find us on Twitter at @SR_Secret Stage. And you can find us on Twitch, of course, if you're not watching this live, at twitch.tv/Secret Stage. We have a Saturday and Sunday stream, and sometimes occasionally we do midweek stuff, but if you're part of our Twitter or something, you'll get the notifications about that.
I think, are you missing also the Facebook?
I said Facebook, Secret Stage Games.
Okay.
And of course, you can go to Scarlet Rhapsody for all sorts of other Scarlet Rhapsody related needs, including the 0 Hour podcast, a bunch of news articles, or rather opinion pieces on different cartoons and Broadway and conventions, especially our convention reports. They'll get some new ones coming up real soon. So, until next time, this is Jared for Miguel, Ramses, Background Becky, and Baby Miguel saying, game over, and winners don't use drugs.
Oh, what perfect timing with the death right there.
Nice.
Yep. Alright,
Wait, let me see this.
Because it's already it's almost 6:15. I know your heart out is pretty.
Right now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for going off on that tangent with
While we're still going through, let me just do a quick sign off for our stream. Thank you all for watching while we record our podcast. Again, we will have this episode up later in the week. This episode will be up on YouTube along with our Saturday and our Sunday streams that we did this week. Within the next 2 days. We are a little delayed because of stuff happening with our uploads, but you should catch them soon. So, and as Jared mentioned, you can catch us all on all of our YouTube, our Facebook, and Twitter and Twitch. So thank you all for watching, and we will catch you all next episode.
Yep.